Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Last year I reviewed a party-ish type of game where you're pointing foam guns at each other and looting money. And it was called Cash and Guns. Today we're looking at the expansion, More Cash and More Guns. This is done through Repo's production and through the Americas brought through Asmodee. It's designed by Ludovic Maublanc, one of my favorite designers. Still for 4 to 8 players, but adds a lot of interesting new twists. More guns, more cash, interesting things. Let's take a look. Okay, for the expansion, this is a gun from the base game. There's 3 new powers that come in the game. First one is the Brute. When you take a wound, your character doesn't lay down. As such, you'll take part in the loot sharing. So he never lays down. If you get hurt, you still get to do it. The next 2 are pretty crazy. This one is a big gun. You take the big gun, which by the way, the reason why I put this gun here is so you can see how big the big gun is. It's a lot bigger. I mean, it's cool. Now, when you fire and hit somebody, if you hit them for the first time in the game, they lose 2 wounds instead of just 1. Having the big gun is really cool. The other one is the twin guns. So this allows you to get 2 of these little twin guns. Again, looking at the size difference. Base game, big gun from the expansion, 2 little guns. Now what these do is one of them has a little hole in it, one of them doesn't. And when you aim both of these, you hold your hand like this, and people can't tell. You'll be aiming them at 2 different people, and they won't be able to tell if it's the real gun or the fake gun. Pretty cool. There's also these what are called surprise cards. They look like this. There's a bunch of them. Here's my favorites. The small gun. Now, again, here is the regular gun from the game. The small gun is tiny. I mean, look at it. Barely fits in your hand. It's really funny. You can play these surprise cards. They're once per game, once per use, and they're out. You get 2 of them at the beginning of the game. You choose 1 of them. And essentially, you keep it hidden until you want to play one. And this one is you get the small gun, and you just it's an extra gun that you get to use. That and once it hits somebody, then the little gun kind of goes away. It's a one-time use. So you'll have 2 guns for a little while, and that little gun goes away after it hurts somebody. Backstab. Here's some of my favorites. Even when lying down, you can still apply your bang card. Give me that. When a player chooses a loot, you steal it from them. Imitator. When a player is eliminated from the game, take their power card. That's like their power card here, right from them. At the beginning of a loot share, stand your character back up, whether wounded or not, and take place in the looting. I'll be back. And the fake click. When you flip over your bullet card, play your click like a bang. This is just a few of them. There's a ton more of these, but that's sort of the flavor of these. Now, I know usually you have 8 cards out here, but I'm just putting 6 because I'm showing you the 6 new types of cards that's in the game. First of all, we have money that might be counterfeit, might be not. This might be worth 20,000 at the end. It might be worth nothing. Might be worth 10. Might be worth nothing. There's a few of each of those in there. I'll tell you how they become good here in just a moment. This is worth 0 towards the big diamond reward at the end of the game, but this card is actually worth having 2 cards of diamonds. Because remember, to get that, you need to have the most cards of diamonds. So this gives you 2 diamond cards for the price of 1, but they're worth 0. These 2 are really cool. If you have a key, and another person has a briefcase, and you're both alive at the end of the game, you both get 25,000. If you're the person that actually has both of these and you stay alive, you'll get 50 grand. So this becomes interesting because you get one of these, and you watch who takes the other one, and you help keep them alive throughout the game. Now, what about this safe here and this card here? Well, when you're the Godfather, instead of taking a piece of loot, you can go in the safe, take the top 2 cards, and this flips over because now it's closed. They will look at one of these, they'll take one after looking at it, and then they will pass one to the next person on the right that's alive. So they have to give one away, and at the end of the round, this then becomes over again. Now he can do that instead of taking a loot. So for his first time around, he may take this, and then he takes another loot or something like that. So it's a cool way to, because there's some extra cards that are put in the game, mostly these ones. Now the last one is this. When you get this card, you get to go in the safe, keep the cards in order. You get to draw any one card you want from the safe. Very powerful. I think there's 2 of these cards in the game. And those are all the new cards. Now, you might ask about these here. Now, the last game, the last round, when somebody takes the Godfather, usually taking the Godfather in the last round does nothing. Now, in the last round of the game, if you take the Godfather, you get to decide whether all fake bills, counterfeit bills, are good or bad, and it's all bills for everybody. So if you have a ton of these, you want to make them good. If you have none or maybe one, you probably want to make them counterfeit. So it gives somebody a reason to get that. And that's all that's in this expansion, but man, does it add a lot. Wow, I really enjoyed this expansion. Gosh, the new guns are awesome. The big gun, great. I mean, when someone's holding that thing, it's just so funny to look at that gun compared to the gun that everybody else has. It's just funny, you just laugh at it. It's like, look at the size of that thing. It's crazy. And it's cool because you hit somebody, and if you do your first damage, it's 2 wounds. So people, when that gun's pointing at you, if you have no wounds, you're like, I'm laying down. Really cool. The double guns, also super cool. Like, I'm holding 2 guns. Is it the real one? Is it the fake one? Super cool. And then that other one with the special event there where you can have the small gun. You're shooting 2 guns for the game until that small one hits somebody, and then it goes away. It's a one-time use, thematic, cool. The extra guns are awesome. So when I play with this expansion, I almost always make sure that the roles that use the double gun and the big gun are shuffled in towards the top so that they always sort of come in. Because it's so fun to use them, why not? Now those events also, if we're using the special events, I'll shuffle in the one with the small gun somewhere near the top so we know that one's going to come out at some point too. Now, the events themselves, so the new rolls, and the last one, the brute there, that's a cool roll too. So the new rolls, the new guns, awesome. The special events are also really cool. However, it does add one more level of complexity. If you're playing with players who have never played this before, or you're playing with people that don't play a lot of games, usually the base game I'll play without the rolls the first time, right? So you might not be playing, I wouldn't bring this expansion out for people who have not played the base game before if they're not used to games. If they don't play a lot of games, if they like just party games, just play the base game, don't pull the expansion out till the game after that, at least. Now, if you're with gamers that like a lot of games, you know, playing with the expansion with the new rolls and the new guns is easy. Playing with the new, the surprise cards, that's another level, right? Because you've got a bunch of other things that are happening. You're gonna be passing the book around sometimes. So that adds one level of complexity. It's not like super deep, it just adds one more thing. So you may or may not want to play with those the first time you introduce the expansion, right? Because you're going to have a lot of the new rolls if you shuffle those in with the guns, and then you're going to have all the new things with the safe and the different ways and the forged bills. So that gets me to those things. I love everything they added here. The safe is awesome. It gives the Godfather another thing to do. Should I go into the safe, give something to somebody to the right of me, or not? Cool thing to think about. Those safe cards allow you to go through and get one card from the safe. Awesome. The key in the briefcase, where they're each worth 25 grand. If you get them both and stay alive, it's 50 grand. Or if you see somebody take one, and then you take one, you're trying to keep each other alive, really cool. Love it. The forged bills really gives you a reason to get the Godfather at the end of the game. Woo! This was so well thought out that every piece that was added here is awesome. Absolutely awesome. My only thing is just maybe don't play with the special new surprises the first time if there's a lot of people that haven't played the game before. Other than that, man, throw it all in and it's great. Awesome expansion. Really love it. If you liked Cash and Guns, this does add a lot more depth, a lot more strategy, and a lot more fun, a lot more guns. How can it not be more fun? That's more cash, more guns.